One article actually dropped, and it wasn't supposed to be on the card, but I put it on the card at the last second because of just how funny it is. You know, like, and again, we've talked about American comics for like 3 streams now in a row, but this one is extra funny just because of the fact that it's from two people who are very prominent lefties on Twitter that love to talk about how the message is way more important than the actual product itself. And yet they are literally begging people to help them with their rent money on Twitter. So I thought that was actually pretty fucking hilarious. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Doctor Who. We'll talk about all the typical stuff. But let's jump into the comic book one first, just because I want to kind of get it out the way, since I have a feeling Doctor Who is going to take up a lot of time with Mr. Will of the Fans over here. Or who are the fans? You wanted to go by Who are the Fans, right?
Who of the Fans is what they started calling me before we started the stream. So yeah, I can see that.
We can go with Who are the Fans. So we have an article here. Phantom Pulse released it. Let me make this a little bit bigger real quick, just because yeah, cool. Because we're about to see a beautiful picture here. So this is a person who I did a video on, and surprisingly it did very well. I really wasn't expecting it to blow up the way it did. But this person, I believe, is this Mags VISAGGIO? Is this? Yeah, this is Mags VISAGGIO, right? So I didn't even know Mags VISAGGIO. What?
It's Ryan when he was 24.
Fuck off. Fuck off. I happen to know
24.
I happen to know the writer of this article, and
of course you do.
Hopefully John Delarose slays this fucking bitch with everything he has.
I was gonna say, like, this article, man, like when I read this one and the other one for the other topic, all I was thinking is, man, like, could you just add like a crucifix and like a burning cross somewhere, and maybe like people burning in hell? Like, that would make it even more clear as to why they despise this person.
Mags missing a badge.
Well, this is Zack Snyder's new pet. Zack has been seen taking photos with this. So
really?
Oh my!
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting. Can you find a photo? Pull it up. Just so I'll use it later. So yeah, the article has a headline: Marvel and DC writers Mags VISAGGIO and Sean McKeever beg for rent money online while the comic industry collapses. Now, I haven't read this article yet because, like I said, it's brand new. It just popped up before the stream went live. But I wanted to talk about it because I did make a video on this person prior, and this is a typical person who is all over Twitter, completely destroying everybody who is not even remotely woke in any way. And they're the kind of people that self-insert themselves into pretty much everything they write. It's a male, by the way, John. This person.
It's a dude, 100%.
I googled this dude, and oh my god, there's stubble in one picture. There's like 5 o'clock shadow.
Is that legit a guy?
That's
that's legit guy. You can tell by the fucking nose. This is
it's a nose. Like, you can tell with the nose.
That's also
the nose, the jawline.
No, they're just always British. So
yeah, but I haven't seen women with that nose and that jawline too. Look at this fucking
that's
jawline.
true.
I mean, come on. Anyway, I think it's hilarious. I do, and I never want to laugh at people's quote unquote struggles, but people like this I will, because this person is a terrible person. Number one. Number two, he is very obviously wrapped in identity politics. He's all for it. This is what he pushes. This is what he does. And he's the kind of person that has been caught on Twitter. And I'll try to pull up some other stuff. Maybe it has it in this article, but there's plenty of tweets of this person just completely like yelling at people and cursing them out for even remotely saying anything bad about anything he has written, and basically saying the message is always the priority, and money comes secondary. Well, now this person seemingly, apparently anyway, is begging for rent money online. So I'll find it.
Nice.
But I mean, you guys can kind of chime in your own opinions on this whole scenario. What do you think about this?
Oh, it's this
I think this is a very easy fix.
I mean,
what you do is you take all those untold comics you've written, you build yourself something that resembles Shelter, and live under the fucking bridge like the troll you are.
I mean, this person is definitely
a tranny calling their fellow tranny a troll.
It's wintertime.
Wow.
It's cold. They have
Wow.
plenty of unused comics that they can turn to stay warm.
Well, they eat their own. So yeah, they will go against whoever is. It doesn't matter who they are. They eat their own.
Oh,
but
interesting.
These types of people really annoy me because they spend their entire career, pushing people away and trying to insert themselves and tell people that these are the right comics, and if you don't like them, then you can go kick rocks. Yeah. And so they live the victim mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now
there seems to be all they are.
Now she's wondering where are all these people that should be supporting me. Well, they're not there anymore because you've pushed them all away. So now she needs rent money. Or he, whatever. I'm so confused.
It needs rent money.
Yeah.
It better go on the street.
Actually send them money though, because like they put their Cash App on here, and I want to send them like 4 cents. Because have you ever gone to a restaurant and
don't
like
even give them 4 cents? They're not.
No, here's why though. Like here's my reasoning as to why. So have you ever gone to a restaurant and you had shitty service and you don't leave a tip? I always leave like a couple pennies if that happens, just to show them that it's worse than getting no tip, and that's what I want to do. Like,
you also leave full and satisfied, and that person when you go and eat at a restaurant, and you're not leaving satisfied with anything this person's putting out.
Right.
Fair enough.
Unless you're Ryan will be very satisfied.
More of an insult if you just send them like 4 pennies.
It's just funny that these people always argue when they change something that's already established, and the fan base that's already there gets mad that the things change, and they go like, "Oh, we don't need you guys. We've accounted for new like whatever. Like you're just old dinosaurs." And then the thing they took over completely collapses and falls apart, and they have no self-reflection. They they for it, then they beg for money.
The fundamental problem with these people is that they think that they will actually be able to replace actual genuine fans with the people that they represent or pretend or imagine that they represent. And the reality is that the people that they think they represent never get off Twitter to actually go and buy something. They don't have jobs. They're communists. They do not want to have jobs. They want free money from Big Daddy Biden. So they end up basically just living in when they call us basement dwellers, they're actually just shouting into the mirror, because that's what they are, and they're never going to be able to buy anything. So you're never going to be able to make a career.
Of a parasitical existence, right? They live.
It's fucking embarrassing that they haven't worked this out yet.
From the state, they get
because they think that online currency is actually like a real thing. Like
they think that you can spend clout. You're right.
Social currency
you use the word fundamental, and these people take out all the fun and just leave demental. Like
that was good.
That's clever.
Very good.
Come up with that on your own.
The sad thing about this is these people fail upwards, and I don't get it. I don't know why they keep failing up. You got Heather Antos, Kelly Sue DeConnick. You got
that Christopher Lee clip is
I was just thinking about
that Christopher Lee clip keeps like becoming more real every single day.
You want us to play it, Dragon? For like the 8th time?
No.
Why
do you think I want to play when I just mentioned?
It's like a fucking.
Why is your head
record.
going into that tower like an airplane, right?
It's like if I mention
like
every time
power,
I mention
that clip, something else.
There, you don't understand.
Wait, so every time I mention your hairline,
Ryan needs to go after you. That's just he's
looking for
so every time I mention Ryan's hairline, what I really want is for somebody to make a compilation of how much is receded over the past year.
Yep,
I'm sure somebody would.
I'm sure somebody will.
I just like to say though, why are creatures like this allowed to be given the oxygen of publicity? Because first of all, why
they have enablers?
Well,
who enabled these people? Should be arrested for enabling madness.
Back to the 90s, you wouldn't see people like these on late night with Jay Leno or whatever. You know, the internet has given them the opportunity to put themselves out there, which frankly I actually think is a good thing. Like the freedom to be able to put yourself out there on a platform is something that only the internet could have given us. You weren't going to see, Mark Millar on Jay Leno, but now we've got that opportunity. It's a double-edged sword.
Well,
actually, I mean, people stare at this.
It's literally what they said, because I was reading the article and the headline. You got to be careful with these headlines. Some of them are very like over dramatic, and it's not really what they said. But no, this person literally is asking for rent money on Twitter. It's just fucking hilarious. Like
maybe it should be a prostitute.
I don't know.
Get it?
I
was thinking of that too. Because of the name. Yeah.
I don't know
this person,
but when it comes
whatever
to
they are,
money or struggles or whatever, like I'll do anything possible to make sure that I can pull myself out of it. I very rarely, if ever, ask for help. I'm just, I guess, I'm too proud or ego, whatever you want to call it. But the fact that people now are
man.
I guess, but people now, they just they go on Twitter and they fucking beg for it. Like, you put yourself in these shoes, bro. Like you realize, and like I don't know who said it. Somebody said that they think they could spend cloud online as like a currency. You realize that's only going to carry you so far. And now it's to the point where if you got to go online to beg for money to make your rent because your industry is just collapsing around you and you're totally fine with it because you took part in the collapsing of it, then I can't feel sorry for you. Honestly, it's a fucking joke.
Absolutely.
The whole thing is a joke. You're a
it's
joke.
more pathetic
You're
than
already a
Dark
joke. Now
Side
now you're more of a joke.
I spoke on set with some older actors that were parents in the 60s and the 70s and saw their kids like growing up during the flower power movement, and they thought of their kids. And I asked them what they thought of their generation when they saw their kids like growing up in these circumstances where they kind of refused, to work for the system and kind of civil disobedience and all that stuff. And they said at least those kids, they had like the guts to really stand up for something that we're believing in. Today, they're just hiding behind the screen and they're pretending they have some sort of a revolution going on. And as soon as, push comes to shove, they are crawling back into the system, begging for support and money so they can make it. Right. And so I feel like this generation really is, I don't know if we can call it a generation because it's just, I think it's some sort of a substrata of culture that is now has turned into some sort of a parasite, right? They're just attached to the system, blowing out everything that the system wants them to blow out, right? And kind of, swing their flag wherever the wind comes from. And they're not really standing for something. They don't really believe in that stuff.
Right. Exactly. Look at this paragraph right here for this other person, Sean McKeever. In November, posted a GoFundMe asking fans to cover his rent for the last few months. This GoFundMe demanded more than $4,000 as he could not get work. Sean McKeever also stated he was getting a minimum wage job to keep the lights on.
Another rent boy, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I don't want to I don't want to always be bringing it up, but again, I live in the Philippines, right? I live in the third world. I literally see guys walking past my place every day carrying giant piles of random leaves and twigs and stuff that they are selling to the local neighbors that for the equivalent of less than a few cents. Right. They are, and no matter how bad it sounds, that's their lives, and they just fucking get on with it. And they might be annoying sometimes because they get in the way and they're crap drivers, but they are tenacious bastards who don't give up, and you've got to commend them for that. And when you see these kinds of spoiled brat bitches, male bitches on the internet begging for rent, are you fucking kidding me? The people here would literally just laugh at you. It is pathetic.